Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for joining us for this morning's webinar. Our subject today is 3 income protection strategies, and our team is excited to share this information with you. First up, though, is Arthur Martinez. He's been with us for a little bit less than a year. He's here in Albuquerque. He's actually a retired Albuquerque fire captain. And we're very proud of the growth he's experienced here with the Knights of Columbus in New Mexico. And he's going to share with us a little bit of the history of the Knights of Columbus. Arthur?
Thank you, Jim. How much do you know about the Knights of Columbus? We're going to talk about that today. To do this, I'm going to have to take you back in time to the late 18th century. It is a time of great growth for the United States in population. Many of them were Catholic Europeans coming over. At the time, they were a despised population. As such, they were only able to get, many of them were only able to get the worst jobs, the menial jobs, the low-paying jobs, the most dangerous jobs. This led to disease. It led to, oftentimes, the death of the breadwinner. This would bring us to a young Father Michael J. McGivney. He came to, he was the parish priest for St. Mary's Church in New Haven, Connecticut. He would get that knock on the rectory door. Father, he didn't come home. He died at work. Father McGivney tried to help these widows and orphans as best as he could. The problem came in is that it happened so often, he wasn't able to offer as much help as he would like. Seeing their suffering, he managed to bring together the prominent men from his parish into the basement at St. Mary's. Together, they formed an organization to help these widows and orphans. This organization was an early form of life insurance. It was life insurance for Catholics by Catholics. We have they named it the Knights of Columbus. I like to think that Father McGivney would be proud of where our organization has come, how far it's come from its humble origins in that basement at St. Mary's. We're now nearly 2 million members. We have thousands of councils. We're in multiple countries. We are a Fortune 1000 company, and last year we distributed more than $185 million to charities around the world, and all from the proceeds from our insurance program. Our members are proud to be Knights. Maybe you should consider becoming a Knight as well. Jim?
Thank you, Arthur. That's very well said. Very well said. If you're not a member of the Knights of Columbus currently, you should certainly consider joining us. But let us bring some value to you to encourage you to consider that option. Next up today, coming from Alamogordo, New Mexico, is one of our more experienced agents. James Matisse has been with us for over 5 years, and I have to say we've seen a great deal of growth in his processes, in his abilities, and in his commitment to our members and their families. He's here to talk today about what happens when you can no longer work. James?
Thank you, Jim. Very kind of you. So I'd like to begin by telling a little story about a guy named Bob from Lovington. Now, Bob, he had a money printing machine in his garage next to his truck. And every day he'd go out to his garage and he'd print some money. But unfortunately, one day there was a terrible accident and he lost both his truck and this machine. The truck was insured, but the machine wasn't, and it was gone forever. Now, Bob was not a counterfeiter. No, the truth is that he was really an oil field worker, and he got into a car accident one day on his way to work. The airbags worked, but while the insurance took care of his truck, he was completely disabled, and now he had no way to provide for his family. See, most of us actually do have a money-making machine, and that's our ability to earn a paycheck. And when you think about it, your paycheck is worth a lot more than your vehicle or your house. An adult who earns even just $50,000 a year is going to earn over $2 million in his lifetime. And the danger is that you're actually a lot more likely to lose your paycheck than you are to lose your house or your car. Somewhere around 1/3 of all working adults will experience a long-term disability before they retire. And yet there are over 110 million Americans who don't have long-term disability income protection. That's 7 out of 10 Americans in the workforce today. So what happens if your next paycheck is your last paycheck? Well, the sad truth is that government benefits really aren't up to the task. Workers' comp only provides some protection if you're disabled on the job, and it's more likely that you're sick or injured off the job. And what about Social Security? Well, did you know that 65% of Social Security disability claims are initially denied? It can take a year or more in the appeals process and a disability lawyer to get those benefits. Some employers provide a benefit, but how much is it? And for how long are they going to pay you to not work? The state of New Mexico's plan, as just an example, only pays $500 a week as a maximum. How do you feel about your employer being in control of those benefits? Now, I'm not trying to impugn our employers, our business owners out there, but I mean, let's be real. If you owned a company and you were facing hard times, what would you do first? Would you take food off your family's table? Would you lay off your employees? Or would you cut back on fringe benefits? Now, if any of this seems concerning, maybe it's time to get a plan together to help protect your paycheck. And I would invite you to reach out to your Knights of Columbus field agent. We can help you analyze what you have and what you don't have, and we can help you put you in control of what happens when your next paycheck is your last paycheck. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, James. That's very well said. I think most of us don't realize how important our own income is. And that's because our income comes to us a little bit at a time, every other week or every week. But really, our greatest asset is our ability to earn income. That's been very well documented. You should sit down and talk to your Knights of Columbus agent about this if you have questions. Our next presenter is an agent that's been with us now for just over 4 years. He is here in Albuquerque. He serves the Albuquerque area, and he also serves some councils in Santa Fe. His name is Bob Ranoni, and he's here today to share with us how life insurance can help protect your income for you and your survivors. Bob?
Thank you, Jim. Let me begin by sharing a heartbreaking story a fellow agent told me. A few years ago, he went to meet a member's recent widow. Now, during that meeting, she was putting a potato in a microwave. That was going to be her dinner. Now, filled with compassion, he went to a Walmart and purchased a bag of groceries to give her. Her son, who lived out of state, after learning of the agent's compassion and how he helped his mom, joined the Knights of Columbus. The main problem was that there was no income protection. When you and your widow are unable to pay the monthly bills, what is going to happen? Now, one of the ways available to protect your paycheck and family financial stability is through life insurance. The death benefit that a life insurance policy provides can be used to pay off the mortgage if it makes financial sense and debt, and also replace lost income and other family needs. Think of a one-income family. If the breadwinner dies, how will the family survive? Will the house have to be sold? Will your children be able to go to college? Will your widow have to go to work? Or do you want her to make that decision instead of you? Now, when it comes to children, the 4 most important things to them are mom, dad, their home, and their school system. Now, your income supports all these things, as well as your standard of living and the lifestyle your family is accustomed to. Now, sometimes both spouses make around the same amount of income, but the effect of losing one can still have the same devastating effect as a single income family losing the breadwinner's income. So life insurance can protect your paycheck, and it can be pennies on the dollar, and it can be customized to your individual needs. So as you see, life insurance can play a critical role in protecting your income, which in turn can help protect your family's financial stability. The Knights of Columbus agent can show you how. Again, when you and your widow are unable to pay the bills, what's going to happen? Is it going to be you or your widow placing that potato in the microwave oven for dinner? Jim?
Thank you, Bob. It's very well said. It constantly amazes me how much our agents encounter out there. As you might imagine, we've seen the good, we've seen the bad, and we've seen the ugly. And the sad aspect of that is the choice is always ours. The choice is always ours. And here in the Knights of Columbus, we have a tendency to make sure that that precious Knights of Columbus widow is in the best position we can place her. I instruct our men actually to understand that when they're sitting at the kitchen table with a husband and a wife, 9 times out of 10, you're sitting there with a future widow. We must take care of our ladies. We must take care of our families. That is our obligation. Father McGivney would accept no less. Our next presenter comes to us from Deming, New Mexico, and he's one of our senior agents with the Knights of Columbus in New Mexico. He's been with our order, he's been with our agency for over 9 years. He today is going to talk about protecting retirement income, protecting your income after retirement. Matthew?
Thanks, Jim. I'd be happy to do that. Welcome, everybody, to my home. So we heard about the money machine helping us if our last paycheck really ended up being our last paycheck when we're hurt and can't work. And by the way, isn't it interesting that over half of all injuries that cause people to miss work will happen away from work, the place we're most likely not to have any coverage? We heard about protecting a paycheck through life insurance when we die too soon, and the people are still depending on the income we brought in. But what about those of us who are fortunate enough to outlive the need for disability coverage for working years and are fortunate enough to get to retire in good health? We've got 2 major problems: outliving our money and running out of money because we're sick. Now, obviously, I'm not going to give you everything there is to know in the 90 seconds that I've got left today, but I've got some questions for you. Do you think that Social Security is going to provide enough income for you to live on in retirement? How confident are you that Social Security will be able to keep paying you the rest of your life? Do you have some sort of guaranteed retirement? How much faith do you have in that source being able to keep its promise to you? If you, or your spouse if you're married, suffered a life-altering medical problem or injury tomorrow, what would it do to your financial plan? Did you know that your individual chance of needing some form of ongoing long-term care services, assistance from another person because you can't do it yourself, is over 70%? And if you're married, the chance that one of you will need those services is greater than 85%. Did you know the average stay in a nursing home is 2.5 years? Did you know that most of those stays begin at home? Do you know the average cost of care here in New Mexico runs anywhere from $4,000 to $9,000 a month, depending on where you live and what kind of care you need? Did you know that government programs usually don't pay for this kind of care, and health insurance doesn't cover anything beyond doctor visits, skilled nursing care, and medicine, leaving you the rest to figure out for yourself? It's a lot to think about, isn't it? But did you also know that you have a dedicated team of Brother Knights who are ready to help you find your customized answers to these questions and prepare for whatever your financial future may bring? Give us a call. We're here to help keep Father McGivney's promise. Brother Knights serving Brother Knights and their families. Viva Jesus.
Viva Jesus. Thank you, Matthew, for your excellent presentation. Well, there you have it. You've heard from 3 of our outstanding agents about how important and how easy it is to protect your income, your most valuable asset. You've heard from Arthur Martinez a little bit about the history of the Knights of Columbus. There's a lot more to know. And if you'd like to find out more about us, please visit our website. It's nmknights.com. Again, it's nmknights with a K.com. You'll find information there about our agents. You'll find information about our agency. You'll find links to information about the Knights of Columbus Insurance. If you use the same parameter, NM Knights, you'll also find us on Facebook. That's our handle there, NM Knights. And it's also our YouTube channel, NM Knights on YouTube. We are eager to serve the Catholic community. We are eager to not just help our Catholic families survive, but to help them thrive in good times and in bad. That's what Father McGivney's promise is all about. That's our obligation, and we work hard to keep it here in New Mexico. To schedule an appointment with one of our agents, I want you to call our office. The number is 505-287-5800. 505-830-5770. Once again, 505-830-5770. The lady that answers the phone at that number is my wife. We've been married for 43 years. Her name is Eva, and she's the administrator for our agency team. She does a marvelous job, and I am so blessed to be able to work with her every single day. Finally, our founder, Michael J. McGivney, Father Michael J. McGivney, is being beatified. He's being beatified on All Souls Day this year. That's Halloween Day. And in honor of that, we are offering to new members a free membership for the first year. Free membership to new members for the first year. You have to go to the website kofc.org. That's kofc.org. And there you'll find a link to join. Use this promotional code, J McCabe, MCCABE. Again, J McCabe. Use that as a promotional code, and your first year's membership is free. Well, there you have it. We've had a good discussion about income protection, how important our income is, how much we each are like a machine that prints money, because our ability to earn income is indeed our greatest asset. And far too often, it's not protected. Far too often, it's not protected. I think the only thing we have left is questions and answers. Do we have any questions from the audience?
Yes, Jim.
Thank you. And I'll encourage you, if you have a question, go ahead and type it in the Q of A box, and we'll try to get to it before we run out of time today. So the first question I have here is from Jose M. Jose's question is, do I need to join the Knights of Columbus to meet with an agent? Jose, that's a great question, and we get it quite often. And the answer is no, you don't need to be a member of the Knights of Columbus in order to meet with one of our fine agents. Frankly, once you meet with them, I expect you'll be glad that you did. And you do need to join the Knights of Columbus to purchase insurance product from the Knights of Columbus. And I believe that when you meet with one of our agents, they will bring enough value, enough knowledge, enough competency to the table that you will want to access our benefits that are structured just for Catholic families. Do we have any other questions?
No.
I'm seeing none. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for joining us today. The one thing that we cannot give you back is your time. Thank you for investing your time with us today. We're happy to be able to serve you and your family. So until we see you again, take care and God bless.